We're going to see that even though it is cooler air, because there is not much activity coming with it in the form of rain or snow, it is a high pressure system, so that is continuing to push through. But again, it will be breezy and it will be cold weather. We are keeping an eye though on what's happening over here in Montana. There is more active weather coming that way. Now, if I have to look at what's happening at the next 6 hours, you want to know what to expect for your Saturday. We're going to see that those strong wind gusts will subside by tonight. Temperatures will drop accordingly, but I'll have details about what to expect for your weekend coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Frankie, thank you. Boise State University held 2 commencement ceremonies today to honor the class of 2021. This year marked a record-setting class as BSU handed out more than 3,600 degrees and certificates, and they also had a record number of students earn their PhDs, with 35 in total. This class had to endure the pandemic to make it to graduation, but they tell us it was all worth it to celebrate their accomplishments on the blue, and they all have their own unique story.
I'm first generation high school grad, first generation college grad, and so one generation away from my father being a migrant worker in southern Arizona picking cotton for $3 for a 100-pound bag of cotton. I'm getting my doctorate, and he's the one hooding me today, so this is a huge moment for my family. I mean, I went all the way for everybody in my family that couldn't.
Boise State also honored the class of 2020, so this weekend BSU gave out nearly 5,000 diplomas and more than 50 doctorate degrees. Well, Meridian Home Court held a free admission day for families to enjoy some free gym time today. People were playing pickleball and basketball at home court, and it marked the culmination of the Meridian Parks and Recreation Unplug and Be Outside Week. The Parks and Rec Department put this together to help get people active who've been isolated during the past year. The Unplug and Be Outside guide also offers tips on good places to hike and how to enjoy other activities, and that can be found on the City of Meridian's website. Well, after being furloughed from 2 jobs as a result of COVID, a local baker found a fresh start with her sourdough starter. Meredith Hodge started baking bread in 2020, doing pop-ups out of her front kitchen on the weekends. With more and more customers showing up every weekend, she realized that she needed a bigger space. And thanks to a new friend turned business partner, she started WILDFIRE Bakery.
Everybody's pretty surprised and happy that everything is fermented sourdough. So from the bread down to the cookie, down to the croissant, the crepe, and it's really fun to feed everybody and see so many smiling faces.
WILDFIRE's weekly changing menu can be tasted in-house or at home with online orders. The bakery is open Thursday through Saturday, and you can find out more information about the bakery and their menu on the WILDFIRE website. What do Big Macs, lamb chops, and grapes all have in common? Well, it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but for Mindy Mayer, this is no joke. As a matter of fact, it defines a life full of ups and downs. Mindy Mayer survived a plane crash, but lost 5 family members of her own. While recovering from her injuries, Mindy knew she had to go on with life.
I thought, you know what, I'm just darn lucky to be alive, and I better appreciate it and figure out, you know, a new way to make new memories.
Our Don Nelson will have much more on this amazing story of tragedy to triumph this Sunday night in this week's edition of My Idaho. Still ahead on Idaho News 6, the world is preparing for a potentially dangerous night as astronomers try to discern where and when debris from a Chinese rocket will crash. And next, after a shooting at a Rigby middle school on Thursday, members of the community are coming together to support the victims. How the community is starting to heal next.
This is Idaho News 6.
The community of Rigby continues the process of healing after a shooting at the local middle school on Thursday left 3 people injured. As the investigation continues, Scripps reporter Spencer Joseph shares some emerging stories of heroism.
Rigby Middle School was much quieter Friday. Faculty members, parents, and staff came for counseling over Thursday's school shooting.
That first day or so, people are saying, hey, I think I'm okay. Things kind of start kicking in. The realization of what they really went through happened. So we'll tend to probably see things a little bit more down the road.
Cameron Baxter is a part of the Tueller Counseling Group in Idaho Falls. They are one of the many working with those in the community and students at the school.
I think the spirit between these communities is they tend to come together in times like this.
As the recovery continues, the heroics of 2 faculty members is coming to light. The district hasn't identified the 2 involved, but community members have. The custodian who was shot was Jim Wilson, seen here in this video from East Idaho News. He's a beloved member of the faculty that has been working at the school for nearly 30 years. Krista Knighting is an 8th grade math teacher. Friends and family tell us she was the one to disarm the student, saying that, quote, she was a born mother, calling her also a hero. Knighting herself posted to the community, saying in part, quote, my heart is touched by all of the incredible outpouring of love I've received, adding, quote, I love my students so much. It's why I teach.
Have such a great day. It has been a party.
And it's that support and love
Yours is regular Dr. Pepper, right?
that is starting to be felt all over this town.
Yesterday we got a call about that we were going to start doing this free drinks thing, and everything just hit us so fast.
Pick Me Up Soda is offering free sodas to the community.
Where we can't control much the situation around us, we can control one thing, and we can control making people happy and trying to make their days a little bit better and truly give them a pick-me-up.
They decided to start collecting donations as well for those affected, and the community blew them away.
And people just started throwing money in at hundreds, like 20s, 50s.
In line at the store, Christy Ringel and her daughter. That generosity was especially important to them.
My daughter was actually at the school yesterday, and she was in that classroom, and Mrs. Knighting was her teacher.
With her daughter's firsthand experience, it's emotional for this family and everyone in this town to see so many shows of support.
The support means a lot, a lot. These kids need all of that support.
We've had so many people just cry at the window, and I know it's something small just to drink, but it really does brighten up people's day. They really care genuinely for each other. Stay up! Bye.
Investigators say they are still looking into the facts of this case and have not come out with any further details as they are still investigating.
The Challenged Athletes Foundation, through a partnership with GRIT, have discovered a way to help children with disabilities be more active and independent. 3 kids in Idaho received a new GRIT Freedom Chair, an off-road mountain bike that 2 mechanical engineers from MIT designed for children with the help of the Challenged Athletes Foundation. Back in January, an Idaho boy got the first chair designed for kids, and now Clara Longoria has the GRIT Freedom Chair that she can use to explore the trails with her family.
It was really thankful for everyone giving me this chair.
You're really thankful for it?
Yeah, I'm really thankful for everybody.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll have more on the GRIT wheelchair, the Challenged Athletes Foundation, and how this chair will be a game changer for the Longoria family.
Well, don't go anywhere. Coming up, I have some details you're going to want to know about fire season and my full forecast up next. Well, this year's fire season isn't looking good. More than 3/4 of the western U.S. is experiencing a drought, and about 20% is under extreme drought conditions. NIFC says that the lack of rain and snow the last few months has set the stage for a dangerous fire season. And last year, we saw some of the worst fires in the Pacific Northwest, with California, Oregon, and Washington all having record-breaking fires. And again, this season is not looking much better. So in Idaho, fire officials are urging us to do our part, because 85% of most fires in the U.S. are human caused. Now, we're talking a little bit about fuel load. Fuel load is the result of when we have some heavy rains, we'll start to see a lot of that greenery, the vegetation, it dries out, and that becomes the fuel load. Well, because we didn't have much rain or much snow, a lot of the vegetation that we have has already dried out. Fuel loads create larger and hotter fires. The climate, when we are in droughts, it makes those fires more combustible, and the ignition, when we have things like wind, it makes them spread a lot faster. So that's really what's setting us up for a potentially bad year. So again, do your part. If you're out recreating, those cigarette butts, any loose chains, just make sure that you're really just doing that extra mile, putting in that extra effort to make sure that we don't have to deal with any unnecessary fires. Now, moving into some of the future wind gusts that we're looking at, we have been dealing with some very gusty conditions. You can see that we have just been across that 20-mile-per-hour range through most parts of the Treasure Valley, even up and towards those higher elevations. We're going to see that continuing on. We'll get a little bit of a break going into Sunday, but then Sunday afternoon, that's when we'll start to see it shake up just a little bit. Looking at about 22 miles per hour. It's going to play itself out, and this is a look at Monday morning. Things calming back down. We're in that single-digit range for most of our Treasure Valley and Western Magic Valley regions. Now this wind is working with a purpose. It's going to be blowing in some cloud coverage. Here's a peek at Sunday at about 7:30 p.m. We'll start to see little pockets of snow, rain snow mix. We'll even see maybe just some straight snow in places like Stanley and Ketchum. Now it's not going to equate to much. It's just going to be a little bit too warm to really see significant accumulation. But this wind is going to also continue to bring more cloud coverage, and then by Monday at about 11:15, we'll start to see places like our east central mountain region getting again more of that rain snow mix and straight snow. We will remain relatively clear though throughout parts of the Treasure Valley, so that's the good news, right? We're going to experience more of that summer weather here. Now we'll see it clear out. It'll start to filter out by Tuesday morning, and then we should be setting up for a pretty nice week ahead. We do have a warming trend that is picking up on Monday, so we will see that summer-like weather towards the end of the week. Now looking at your Sunday, here is a look at what we can expect in the Treasure Valley. Partly sunny conditions, a northwest wind moving at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's pretty standard. That's a nice little breeze that we'll have going on, a lot better than what we're seeing. In the west central mountains, we're going to see some increase in clouds. There is about a 30% chance of some rain and snow, 60 degrees though if you're going to be anywhere between Council and Riggins, 50 though for McCall and Cascade. The east central mountains, we're looking at partly sunny conditions. 50 will be that high temperature in Stanley. Absolutely beautiful. And then in the Magic Valley, we're also looking at some partly sunny conditions. The wind will be moving at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, but come the evening, we're looking at 25 mile per hour gusts. A quick check of that extended forecast shows you the next 7 days. We do see again that increase in cloud coverage for our Sunday, but starting Monday, I know it doesn't look like much. 68 degrees will be that high temperature for your Monday. We'll start to see 70 degrees come Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have 80-degree weather. We go 83, 84, 81, 81. It just bing, 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 Jake.
Yeah, we're almost ready for the pools to open.
I'm telling you, I've stocked up on sunscreen. I'm really hoping people don't go crazy over it like they did with toilet paper and Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
So the sunscreen, honestly, that's the only thing. And water, but like,
there you go.
I'm not worried about water running out anytime soon.
All right, Frankie, thank you.